Hello, we are members of the Eco Alliance, and we are here today to discuss a major issue. Should animals continue to be kept in enclosures at zoos and aquariums? We are here today at the Philadelphia Zoo to find out more.
We are here at the rhino exhibit. Rhinos are native to Africa, and in their natural habitat, they inhabit a large area of land. They also have no natural predators in the zoo, whereas in the wild, baby rhinos are threatened by large cats like lions and tigers. According to Miss Carla Hall from the Los Angeles Times, animals should be kept in sanctuaries as opposed to zoos, and the Oakland Zoo is right to rethink keeping many of their animals, such as the elephants. Much like the elephants, rhinos are able to live worry-free life in the zoo, but their living conditions are not ideal. We now move on to Oliver at the eagle exhibit.
Thanks, Ben. As you can see, these eagles have massive wings, and while some are native to this area and climate, they are not used to being confined in a cage. Birds should be able to fly freely in the sky and not be bound by the chains of humans. Now we go to Owen at the tiger exhibit.
Thanks, Oliver. These large cats are native to Asia and are dominant predators in their natural habitat. However, look at how sad and sluggish they look in these exhibits, where they are directly fed food and are not forced to hunt. According to Mr. Andrew Madden at Belfast Telegraph, across 3 years, 2021, 2022, and 2023, a total of 84 animals died at the Belfast Zoo. This was blamed on their poor living conditions and enclosures. The same could happen if these poor animals at our own Philadelphia Zoo if we are not careful about the well-being of the animals.
What is your name, your job, and how long have you been here for?
My name is Penn. I work in the Conservation Education Department as a, what is my official job title? Hold on. I'm an education interpreter, and I've worked here since March.
Okay. And where did you guys get these animals from? Like, were they injured and brought in or born into the zoo?
A lot of our animals are born in captivity. Some of our older animals, so like for example our Galapagos tortoises, like our tortoise mommy who just recently had babies, she is from the Galapagos because she is around 97 years old. So that was back when it was still okay for zoos to take animals from their natural habitats to put on display. That rule has since changed. Zoos, AZA certified zoos, do not take animals from their natural habitats. They are either surrenders from people who got them illegally and needed to surrender them, or they were born here. They were born at a zoo. They were born in captivity.
And so do you think any of these animals could potentially return to the wild, or would they only stay in the zoo?
Our animals are zoo animals. There are some like wildlife foundations that are specifically catered towards like taking care of them and then releasing them back in the wild. I know like in California there's condor reserves where the people that are interacting with the condors, they're not seeing humans at all. They have gloves that they put on that look like condors to interact with the birds. Here at the zoo, the main goal is conservation of species and making sure that the species that we have that are part of our species survival program are able to breed with enough biogenetic diversity that they won't have health problems, to essentially have an insurance population. So if something crazy happened out in the wild and a large portion of an animal was wiped out, there would still be a population in zoos that can be studied and taken care of.
And lastly, is the behavior of the animals in these zoos like a lot different than the behavior in the wild, and do you guys monitor that behavior?
All of our keepers are trained in animal behavior, and the animals are watched closely to make sure they're not exhibiting any signs of undue stress or discomfort or anything like that. We do the best with what we can in the spaces that we have. It's one of the reasons that the Philly Zoo does not have elephants anymore. We used to have elephants. The AZA, which is the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, is kind of the governing body of a lot of zoos in America changed their guidelines. They said that they found out that elephants needed more space. We here in Philadelphia, unfortunately, are in the bounds of there's a major roadway here, there's a train track on the other side. We didn't have the space for elephants anymore, so we don't have elephants because we need to make sure that they're happy and healthy. I'm sure that there are some behavioral differences. Obviously, our animals here are used to seeing humans. Animals out in the wild are not necessarily used to that. But we try our best here to make sure that they are as close to how they would be existing in the wild and are happy and healthy and safe and stress-free. Any of the behavior that you would see that would potentially be concerning is monitored. And if there's an issue, our keepers are on top of that. They will take care of it. They will make sure that if they need to be moved to a different zoo for their health and safety, then that can happen. They'll end up in another space. They'll end up. Our priority is the animals' health and safety and conservation efforts.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
We are here at the Conservation Center at the Philadelphia Zoo. This is where endangered animals are kept and cared for to prevent their species extinction. There are many conservation centers all over the world, and they share the same goal. At the Columbus Zoo, they are taking care of small plains garter snakes, one of Ohio's most threatened species of reptile. At a British zoo, a species of snail has been saved from extinction. The Desertas Island land snail was believed to be extinct, but upon its rediscovery, it was kept at the Cheshire Zoo, where the right conditions for it to breed were set up. These centers also serve the purpose of educating people on endangered animals. At the Tampa Zoo in Florida, Siamang gibbons are seen clinging to their mothers. This brings joy to the people visiting the zoo and leads to them wanting to learn about these endangered animals and help protect them. All right, first, what is your name, your job, and how long have you worked here for?
Okay, Hannah Salvatore, I'm a docent, and I've been here since 2009.
2009, wow. So how have the zoos promoted conservation efforts and brought awareness to people?
Well, the conservation effort, there's a lot of things. We do give money to a lot of conservation programs. We're also part of the breeding program for the Rodriguez fruit bats and the Micronesian kingfisher, Micronesian rail. We're part of that and related things. A lot of money.
A lot, nice.
And funding people too, funding jobs in conservation programs.
How important is it for these conservation centers to exist for these animals?
Well, there are some that would go extinct without the work that's being done. There are some that the animals are extinct in the wild, and they're working on getting them back. For instance, in Micronesia, last September, Micronesian kingfishers were released to an island off of Guam that doesn't have brown tree snakes, which were hopefully accidentally introduced to Guam and wiped out a lot of the birds.
And then lastly, how did you become a conservation worker? What interested you so much in this?
Animals?
Just wanting to protect them?
Non-human animals.
Non-human animals. Just wanting to protect them and raise awareness to people that these animals, they're endangered and it should be important for people to...
Or even more important, ones that aren't endangered yet. When there's still a lot of hope, getting involved before they become endangered.
All right. That wraps up our day here at the Philadelphia Zoo. While we did see some downsides that zoos can show, we also saw major upsides that we believe outweigh the negatives. While zoos don't display the best living conditions for animals, they are beneficial resources for endangered species, and they help educate people about these endangered species and how to help protect them. We will see you guys later.